recently I've been scouring Facebook Marketplace because it has been popping off like crazy. I'm telling you, I'm finding 2, 3 deals left and right. People finding their binders in a collection. And this guy came up to me and was like, yeah, I'm trying to sell my binder and I don't know what it's worth. I even kind of stalked him. Maybe I shouldn't use that word. I checked his Facebook to see if he was a real person. And yeah, I saw that he left the comments asking his friends around his friends saying, "Hey, how much are these cards worth?" Or like, "Does anybody know anything about Pokemon? I found these in my mom's basement." And he had a unlimited Charizard or Dark Charizard, perfect condition. He had a first Ed Blastoise, that's really popular.
Mm.
He had Blaine's Charizard, and I think I valued most of his stuff for about $600. Light played and mint about 1,000. And he's like, "Wow, really?" He's like, I just wanted $50 for it." And so as collectors, I feel like most people kind of want that deal, and I just wanted to be honest with him and let him know what it was worth. There's also the other side of the spectrum, right? People see like a played Zard, and I want $1,000 for this played Zard, and then as most people in here, we get angry. It bubbles us up. We're just like, wow, are you serious? Do you even know the market? How do we actually react to it? So I don't know. I mean, I do know, but I want to pass you the ball.
All right, so in terms of that, lately I've been getting a lot of DMs. I've been getting DMs from a lot of verified people, lots of people coming in through TikTok who are coming through my lives asking questions about what are things worth. And for me, it's just it's sort of a I guess it comes down to ethics and morality, I guess. Some of them are asking like genuine questions or wanting to know what their cards are worth, and I'm happy to answer those questions. Like today, I just got a DM from like this card shop, this card collector, right? He collects
Mm-hmm.
sports cards. He knows nothing about Pokemon, and he was going through. He was showing me like an ancient Mew. He
Mm-hmm.
was showing me a base set 2 Charizard and a unlimited Venusaur, and then he also showed me like this huge spread of cards where he had, a first edition Vileplume from Jungle, a Shadowless Squirtle, stuff like that. And so
Mm-hmm.
I was
Mm-hmm.
like, he was wanting to know what he could grade and what he could sell, and so he said, "What do you think?" I said, honestly, all the holos are worth grading regardless of condition. Definitely the Shadowless Squirtle, definitely get that graded. He was like, "Is it worth getting it graded? Is it worth selling afterwards?" I said, "Absolutely. I mean, in this current market, it's a seller's market, and it's worth selling and worth getting graded because that's a safer way of making a decent profit margin in regards to sales."
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of people that are in this hobby that are over evaluating certain things. And I mean, it's not even new people. It's even actual avid collectors. People are pricing things for a future market versus the current market, and that can be kind of frustrating too. It's like, okay, well, current market price is maybe $1,000 for a card. Why are you
Mm-hmm.
evaluating it for 2,000? Like
Mm-hmm.
a specific personal sort of experience for me is I've been trying to buy a 1995 Top Sun Charizard card that's a foil card. I've been trying to have this card for well over a year now. I tried buying a PSA 9 for $3,000, and he wanted more, and so I was like, okay, that's fine. And then this guy wanted one raw. He had another one that was raw. I offered him $1,200 for it. This was like Beckett condition, like possible 9.5. I was like, okay, this might be worth it. Well, then he ended up selling it and getting it graded, and so I was like, okay, well, I mean, like this guy wanted way more than what I was even offering, and I'm being like very generous because like I'm pretty much like market price for that card is relatively speaking like $500-$600,
Mm-hmm.
and so it was kind of rough because I mean like the way things are going in regards to vintage, things are just spiking every single day, so it's hard to really keep up.
Mm-hmm.
But in regards to new collectors, I think if people are coming at it from a like a learning experience and they're wanting to get into Pokemon, I think it's important for us as collectors to sort of just inform them. If someone's putting out an offer or something, a sale on eBay, I think the best thing to do is either A, leave them alone, or just provide them with enough information. Don't say that they're wrong, but just say like, hey, this is what it's actually worth. I'm here to sort of just give you the information in regards to it, and you can do whatever you want with this sort of information and leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my hot take.
Yeah, yeah. A good thing to think about is like we've all been there,
Yeah.
We should, as mature And as experienced collectors, be courteous, be the bigger man. We've all been there. Not saying that none of us are infallible, and I'm pretty sure I went off on one person like after me going back and
Right,
forth.
right.
But yeah, I've talked to maybe 10 people, just trying to see where they're at. I like to gauge what their mindset is at, right? So one guy was he had a bunch of base set twos, and he wanted $50 for like a Chansey, and then he had it in a top loader without a sleeve,
Oof,
and
that's rough.
yeah. And that top loader was all scratched up. And he's like, "Oh, I saw something online. This guy pulled a Chansey, and he said it's worth $2,000. I only want $50 for it." I'm like, "Well, that guy is also named Logan Paul, and it was a first edition one." And
Right.
I educated him. There's a first edition. There's shadowless. And when I approached him, I was like, respectfully, I'm not trying to be rude, but I pulled up some sold listings, and it was like, $10, $7, and that was like near mint, or not near mint, light plate. And I was like, that's about how much it's worth. And so, like, with saying that, like I said, we have all been there.
Yeah,
Let's
I mean, I actually
provide.
have a negative experience, but with the exact same type of
Ooh,
card.
do we want to spill the tea on our negative experience?
Yeah,
Hold
yeah,
up.
yeah. So
Okay,
like,
bring your tea out. Bring your tea out. Okay.
I had to bring the clown out because this guy
What
was
is
clowning
that,
himself.
dude? This is a side note. I told Shivam last week. I'm like, we're gonna start this tea time with some, pokey tea. Let's bring your cups, And he's like, oh yeah, that'd be a good idea. I hit him up. You got your tea? He's like, no, but I do got a clown mug. I haven't
Well,
seen it until now.
I got this from like the Ringland Bros. It was like a snow cone thing, so I was like, you know what? Why not? I'll just use this. But my negative experience is that just last week there was an influencer. I guess he has like about 150,000 followers. I won't say names, but you guys probably saw his story. He was trying to say that a graded 9.5 unlimited Chansey was going to have a potential to be worth $10,000 soon. And I'm like, I DM'd him. I was like, where are you getting these numbers from? And all these cards are CGC graded. And I mean, like, obviously, like, when it comes to CGC graded cards, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that typically CGC cards are great. They're priced a lot lower than actual PSA or Beckett cards.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was asking him about it. He came at me very hostile. He's like, dude, you don't know who you're talking to. Yada, yada this, yada, yada that. And then he was like, you should be thanking influencers for creating a viable market where all of my cards are worth significantly more now than what they were before. I was like, honestly, I don't really care about value. Technically speaking, as an influencer, if you're new to the space, then you should actually be thanking actual collectors for creating a viable environment for you to actually come into this space and take advantage of, just for you to make a profit off of. And so, like, I was like, you don't know anything about population reports, you don't know anything about grading. And he tried to bring in like the topic about how he's like working with two different card shops. So I was like, well, even then, if you work with two card shops, that doesn't necessarily equate to actual knowledge about Pokemon, because I go to my card shop right over here, and the owner there, I mean, as great as the guy is, he doesn't really sell a whole lot of Pokemon cards, so his knowledge isn't really there. A lot of card shops can't really have experienced knowledge on every single piece of inventory that they have in there, because they're essentially buying off lots and lots of cards just to be able to resell. It's kind of like a pawn shop, but
and we touched on that. We've touched on that last week. So if you want to check it, I'll throw it in the eye. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And so like in this case, it's like it was really frustrating, because it's like, bro, you don't know what you're talking about, respectfully speaking. It's just that you need to really do your research, especially if you're coming into the space. And it's not necessarily about manipulating anything. It's just that in this case, he kind of was. And he's like, yeah, I sold off all of my graded CGC slabs. I'm like, well, yeah, of course you did, because you have influence. You have 100,000 followers. Of course you're able to sell a rock to anyone just because you say it's shiny. Just like, I don't know. It's really frustrating. And in that context, it's like, if you're someone who's coming into the space and you see Pokemon cards and Pokemon are hot, and you buy it, and then all of a sudden you find out that this isn't worth what it's actually worth, then you're just stuck in a hole.
Right.
So it goes so many different ways.
Right. So, and yeah, we could probably talk about that and influencers in the market, but yeah, we're just talking about new collectors. Are they ruining the hobby? Are they helping the hobby? Did we even touch
I think it's
on
both.
that?
Yeah, I think it's both. Just today, like literally right before this, I watched a video of like this small Instagram account, and it's like this little kid opening Champion's Path, and he's like, he might be 5 or 6 or 7 years old. He's going through, and then all of a sudden he pulls a shiny Charizard V, and I'm like, he was just red. He was super happy. I'm like, bro, this is actually so wholesome. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
And so I shared it on my story on Instagram. And I was like, man, this is awesome.
Thank you for watching and coming by to my channel, Yizzy Pokemon. Yeah, if you like my content, consider subscribing. It's free. And if you don't like my stuff later on, you can always unsubscribe too. Yeah, that's all we got. We'll see you later.